Hey guys, it's August 18th, 2021. I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop FlossTube, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Today I have lots of stitchy progress to show you. I have a tease for Stitch Quarterly. We've got some new a new lamp to show you, some new Lori Holt stuff to show you, and I've got some cute pictures of my kids to show you. So we'll just jump right in. World Cross Stitch Day just passed, and for that we did a low price PDF that we're selling called Stitch-O-Graphy. And this was week 1, so I'm going to show you what I've done this week. So this is part 1. Now, when you're working on this PDF, you can go at any pace you would like. This is just kind of, we divided it out, and I'll show you in a second our division. What I did to get a little bit ahead is I did the star, and I did a little bit further. So now we'll show you the pop-up that we had started. It's of course just a guide. So week 2 is going to be that second part on the left, and it says 8 o'clock. Now if you don't like that line in the center of the O, you can take that out. And so I'll be working on that this week, and I am using the opalescent fabric and 14 count. And this weekend, so I got this done on Saturday morning. This only took me about 2 hours, which was really nice. And I love stitching stuff like this because I like stitching text for some reason. I think it's not a lot of fill-in, so you're constantly moving, constantly looking at your pattern, and it kind of flows nice. So that is that part. Now we do sell the wooden spool, and it's a one-time run. So when they're gone, they're gone. We had them made locally in Austin by a woodworker. So, and we have a video on how to finish your piece on this wood if you want to finish it like us. Another fun thing that I did is this is a companion piece. It matches, but it's only available if you buy our Cosmo thread pack for Stitch-O-Graphy. And this took me 4 hours, and we did something super fun is we filmed a video. So Friday night I filmed a video, and we're going to release it on August 31st. So your thread pack will have the color, all your thread, and on the back of this is your free pattern that comes with the thread pack. So what we did is we did a time-lapse video where I went all the way, I think I started in the center, and it just shows you how I kind of move from piece to piece. And I will tell you that my dog was really antsy, and so he got up at least 50 times. I'm not kidding. It drove me crazy. I was like, if I wasn't sitting here filming a video, I guarantee he would have been just sitting there like a good dog. So that is Stitch-O-Graphy. If y'all have any questions on Stitch-O-Graphy, let me know. We're going to continue to do this. So we did one last year, and I can show you that. It's our previous finish feature. So I can actually show you that now. So this was our first year of doing World Cross Stitch Day, and so this pattern is still available on our site, Fat Quarter Shop. And we did 2 different finishings. So this is one finishing, and this hoop is from Hobby Lobby. I don't even know if they still have it. And then the second finishing we did is also a piece from Hobby Lobby. Priscilla did this one for us, and this is Chelsea's Checks fabric. So this was World Cross Stitch Day 2. So then, you know, next year we'll have our third one. So we're going to continue to do fun stuff like this. Our next piece, oh, I have one question on that. Did I travel between the letters? So here I did not. And okay, let me look and see what I did. I just did this the other day. Okay, I traveled between, on the green I did, on the navy I did not, and on the aqua I did. Let's see, on this one, like for the lines I did travel through, but on the red, I think I did travel between the letters. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I traveled between the letters. It's only one stitch, so let's see. What does the T beside 14 count stand for? Oh. Okay, so the T, it represents a symbol, but I don't see a T on here.
No, just in general.
It's a T besides 14 count. The T beside, okay, so can you be more specific, Candy, and let me know what T you're looking at, and I can answer that. Because there's no T's here, so I'm not sure.
Not specifically to the murder, but just in general.
Okay, I don't know. Why are there no knots on the back? So what I do when I finish is I pull my thread through the back, and I just pull it through 4 to 5 stitches and cut, and I don't put knots on the back. Our next piece that I worked on this week has been so fun. It's Kaleidoscope. It is from the Kaleidoscope book by Lori Holt. So this is the book. And here's my piece. And I'm using that same fabric, the opalescent white. I'm really liking that opalescent white. You'll see that I kind of get a fabric, like it, and stick with it. Now, I will say with the opalescent white, it has not been hard to stitch on at all. It's not hard to see, and the little opalescent lines don't bother me. But I will say the fabric is thicker, and my needles have been bending. So that would be the only downfall to using it, is my needles are bending. And I'm using the floss keeper. So I decided this week I'll pop up the what I was supposed to do. So this one is ending this week, and I was supposed to do quadrants, and I did that on the first 2 weeks, where the top row. But then this week I decided to just go with this. And I just went ahead and did all the red and then all the sea foam. And now all I have left to do is the pink. Now the pink is going to obviously take the most amount of time because it's the outside. Now I don't know how I'm going to finish this. So if you have any ideas on finishing, let me know. I'm not sure. I was thinking I would frame it, but then it's kind of one of those things that if you look at it, what color frame would you use? Because I've got white fabric. Brown wouldn't work. Gray might work, but I mean, gray doesn't really go with it. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to frame it, or if I'm going to frame it, or how I'm going to finish it. So you guys definitely let me know. And if you see any mistakes, let me know, because this one, I kept feeling like maybe I would have a mistake, or, miss a little hole or something. And then Lori, unbeknownst to me, she did the same exact thing. So she's at the same exact spot I'm at. Now her colors are DMC 930, 562, and 3849, and she's using fabric from her stash. That's 36 count. So hers is going to be much tinier than mine. So I think that's funny how we're at the same spot. Now, if you look at her bag right there, that bag is made from Crosshatch Quilts on Instagram. But if you look at Lori's video from Friday, she did a little crochet tutorial where she shows you how to make the flower, how to do the covered button, and how to put it on your bag. So that's a cute little tutorial that I have never done. Okay, so then we'll move to Mystery Bats and Boos, which has been a lot of fun because all of you guys are stitching it. Now this one is a free stitch along, and this is our first year doing this. We have done this for quilts in the past, but this is the first year we did a free cross stitch version. So this is our sample. Now on this black right here, this is just felt so that you cannot see the outside. So on Friday morning, you will be able to find this hidden on our site, but Monday it will be on the top of the What's New page. Now this one was finished by Priscilla, and all the information is right here. And if you have any questions, her blog is priscillas2000.blogspot.com. And this is a 4-part series, so part 3 is here. And then this one, Christina is stitching for us, and she works at Fat Quarter Shop. And Terry stitched the other sample, and the other sample was Icelandic Gray 14 count. And then this one is Gray Small Cobwebs 14 count by Fabric Flair. And you can see that kind of the design is there, but once you stitch on it, it becomes more subtle. Now week 4 will be the border. And what I would say is, if you're using a print like this, when you go to the framer, is to maybe leave a little bit more. I usually leave 3/4 of an inch from the edge of my design to where the frame starts. That's kind of my standard. I actually went to the framer yesterday. But on this one, I might leave a little bit more so that that webbing shows. And I think it will kind of stand out a little bit more. So that is this one. And both of these are stitched with Weeks Dye Works thread. And, oh, I want to show the variegation again. I showed it last week, but if you guys didn't join us last week, now the way Christina did it is she's doing her stitches up and down. And so you see the variegation. And then this one, this sample, the variegation is more muted and kind of not as strong. So that's a way to work with the Weeks Dye Works thread. The next item I worked on was Stationery Addict, and I'm actually going to do a small little demo for you guys. One of the questions that I got is, how many strands of floss do I use? Now, I typically work with 14 count. That's typically what I use. And with 14 count, I use 2 strands. So I'm going to show you a couple things, and then I'm going to do a little demo. So this is Stationery Addict. The designer is Little Dove Designs, and it is a color chart. It's 4 pages, and we're on part 2. So this was part 1. This is part 2. Now, when we show these pop-ups that I'm going to show you right now, these are just what we come up with at Fat Quarter Shop. It doesn't have anything to do with the designer. It's a way to keep me organized as a stitcher, because I've got to do this for all of you guys. So if you look at week 3, there's tacks at the top left. And I'm going to show you that now here. So right here, these are tacks. And I had said last week these were quarter stitches, but I was incorrect. They're 3/4 stitches. And I'm going to demo how to do them. And this is just what I have come up with. It might not be correct, but I'm going to show you how I do the 3/4 stitches. And if you look on the pins, let's see, you can see it's a 3/4 stitch. So it's basically, you go in a quarter, or you go into the center hole, and then you do a half stitch on top. So I'm going to demo how I do it. Now, it is harder to do on Ada, because on Ada you're splitting your threads, I guess. So there's no hole here. Now, if you were working with a Lugana, an even weave, a linen, there would be a hole, and it would be so much easier. But I don't like to work with those. So the way I do it is I guess the center, since there's not a hole there. Go back down. It's hard to do on camera because I don't have my magnifier. And then I do my half stitch on top, and then look to see if it looks good. Now, if my yellow over here from my first stitch showed right there, I would redo it. But it looks good. So then I'll do the same thing. I'll come down here. Now, I'm no pro in this, so this is kind of what I've come up with. And a lot of times I do have to pull these stitches out. So let's see. And that looks good. And then the next one, let's see, would come up over here. So I usually start in the center of the hole, just because that way I know I kind of know where I started. And then I do my half stitch and then see if it looks good. And this chart has been more challenging than most because there are so many color changes. And you can see all those back stitches there. I did all of those with 1 strand. Now the pattern does say that some should be 2 strands and some should be 1 strand, but I decided I was going to do 1 strand. And so that's how I do a 3/4 stitch. And of course you can ask me any questions. Now I will look at that in the magnifier before I finish the back just to make sure I like the way it looks. I do usually do all of the cross stitches around and then add my 3/4 stitches. So let's see. So here you can see I did do all of these individual stitches, like instead of like a big long stitch. But I would say, and like on the tacks right here, these are thumb tacks. So these I did individual stitches. So let's see. No hoop. Okay, yeah, I do not use a hoop when I am stitching. I just stitch in hand. And then we're going to move to, and I'm going to show you how I do my board. So this is kind of how I keep it in my bag, and it's messy. And I did film a video on Monday that we're going to release in a little bit that kind of shows when I'm done with a project, how, oh, and then this is loose, how I combine this with my previous one. So you'll want to watch that when that comes out. And then with Peppermint Lane, so I got a lot of stitching done this week. Peppermint Lane is a paper pattern by It's So Emma, which is our company. Now we found the quilt that this was based on this weekend, and we'll have to show that. So this is also that white opalescent. So you can see kind of when I like a fabric, I kind of just keep using it. And that would be my only thing, is that my needles bend, so I have to replace them a little bit more frequently. So I'm going to show you the pop-up of how we divided this one up. We were on week 7, and it took me quite a bit of time to get all of this in. But it was very good because when you look at the top of the gifts, right here, the tops were all exactly the same. So I did all my squares first, and then I added my pink tops, and then I did all the reds, and it was just fill in. I didn't have to just keep looking back and forth at the fabric. Now this week, all I have left to do is the border. Now what I did is I did the border as I went. And what would be great is, I would love to know, do you do that? Do you kind of sneak in stitches so that this will make it where it ends really nice? I did the border kind of as I went, just to make sure I was in the right spot. It was kind of like a second check. So I have all of my light pinks in. I will add all my whites in, and then I will add all my reds. And it's fun to do a border like this because it's the same all the way around, so I don't have to look at my pattern as I'm going. And so yeah, I would love to know if you guys do your border at the same time. Let's see, and I did accidentally, if you look at the pattern, this is supposed to be your hot pink, but I was not paying attention and I did red. And I'm going to show you a pop-up real quick. I am going to frame this one with a white frame. I'm going to try to do similar to this. So yesterday I went to the framer and I met a new employee I had never met at the framer, and he was so nice and he helped me pick this frame, and I was so happy because I was so worried about picking a frame for this. And I told him, I said, oh, this took me like 1.5 years to make. Please be careful when you frame it. But I love the frame, so I thought, well, I'll just show you the frame. It's going to take them about 5 weeks to frame it, but I will show it when we get back, or when this comes back. So now I'm going to answer questions. Barbara Smith is asking if in Snowballs for Sale, did I railroad the white for the snowman? Yes, I did, and it does take forever. So when I did the Snowballs for Sale, what I did is I outlined the snowman. I did all the little buttons, and then that way I could just fill in. Angela said, do you stitch black stitches if using black fabric? I do. I don't know if you're supposed to, but I do. So some of the designs that Priscilla and Chelsea have, they will have the feet and the gloves in green, and I'll just put them in black. Crafting a Plan Life said, when I do Cross Stitch University, will I be demoing 1/2 and 3/4 inch stitches? No, because the Cross Stitch University is for beginners, and so we're not doing anything advanced. We're keeping it very, very beginner. But of course, just like I demoed today, that was a question that I got last week. So anytime y'all want me to demo something, all you have to do is ask, and then we can add it to another live stream. Faye Dixon would like me to recommend a book that shows how to do all the different stitches. I actually don't know of a book, so if any of you guys in chat can help Faye out, let her know. What is my nail color for today? So here's my nail color. I saw something cute on Facebook and thought, I want to do 5 different colors, and I showed the lady and they didn't come out very good. And then when I left the nail salon, Emma was like, what did you do? She's like, can I be honest? And I was like, sure. She's like, I really don't like it. You didn't put it in color order, and you can't tell the shade difference. And I had really bad luck. So again, I'm not changing my nail color. I'll go back to my traditional nail color. What fabric did I use for Kringles? It looks great. Oh gosh. Okay. It was Light Ash 28 count by Zweigart. And that's probably the last time I'll ever do like a 28 count, even weave, anything like that. I just don't enjoy working with it. I prefer 14 count. Okay, how did I end my back stitches on my strands like the paper clips and staples? Okay, I will show you. So I usually just run it through the previous stitches, but do it where I just cover the dark. So let's see. So when I finished these, I tried to run my stitches at the end when you run your thread through. I tried to do it through the black. So I just put it back through the black. Back through the black. And then on these, when I was done, I did pull this a little bit through to the pink, but I just run it through like I do all my other stitches. Gourmet says, when you stitched Let's Talk Autumn by Hands On Design, did you stitch all the white letters first? Yes, I did. Angela would like to know what needles I stitch with, and I stitch with Pat Carson and size 26. Now my sampler of the month that I can go ahead and show you right now real quick is my whip, and that one I do use a different needle. So out of all the projects I'm working on right now, I use size 26 Pat Carson. But on this one, which is a whip that I have going, this is 16 count. Now the only reason I'm using the 16 count is because I would like to frame them in the frames that are made by Family Tree Frame Company. And so I'm using the 16 count. And right here you can see this is a 26 Pat Carson, and I can tell because it's gold and it's big. But what I've been using is the Bowen 28 count. So this is the Bowen 28 count. And it's all silver. And it's harder to thread, but I'm having to use a size 28 needle because this is just too fat. Now, the reason this is on here is because when I finish something else, I'll just throw the existing needle I just used on another project. So I just threw it on here. And then when I was using it last night, I was like, wait, that's the wrong needle. So this is my whip. And this will be finished next week. What's going to be great is next week, this will be finished. Peppermint Lane will be finished, and Kaleidoscope will be finished. So it will be nice to have all those big projects done. I did want to show you, this is how I keep my bitty boards when I'm done with my thread. Now, if I'm working on a pattern, for example, August, I'm going to do September after this. But if I can see, okay, I'm not going to use pink anymore. So when I get to this row down here, when I'm done with the pink, from this pattern, I'll put the pink back on its thread. But until I'm done with that exact color, I'll leave it on here so I don't have to take it on and off, if that makes sense. So that's my whip for today. Esther says she only likes Ada also, so would Kringles work on a 14 count Ada? Yes, it would be bigger because I think what I used, yeah, let's see, 14 count Ada. Yeah, it would be the same exact size. It would work on Ada. And yeah, it would work. Anne says, can Toy take about T-stitching in the car? Can you talk about cross-stitching in the car? We leave to take our daughter back to college tomorrow, and I have a 15.5-hour drive. Yes, I will do that. We're going to be demoing a light, and I'll talk about that. I do have a picture last week, if you watched last week's live stream, of me actually stitching in the car, so you can kind of see my setup. Faye would like to know if we're going to be attending the virtual Needlework Expo. Yes, we will be. And as part of that, we would love for you to comment and let me know from all of the Needlework Expos what the designers are starting to release their designs. So we would love for you to comment and let me know what exact patterns you want us to order so we can take that into account. So if we get the same one over and over, we'll order more of it. Do I use steam when I iron the finished cross stitch? Yes. And I did that yesterday with Kringles and I was super nervous. I did iron from the back, but I just did a quick press because my framer will do, they pin it. And so I did notice when I put the Kringles on the table, it was very wavy. So we can go back to that picture and I bet you can see the waviness. And I did talk to them about that and they said they would pin it and it would pull it straight. So you probably can't see it there, but there is definitely waviness with that fabric when I was done. Rebecca wanted to order the pink red thread pack for Granita, but cannot find it on the website. I only see the blue. So we're only selling the blue, but that's why we list the colors. So all you have to do is look on the website, figure out what pattern, and just order those 3 colors individually. And 2 of them use 2 skeins instead of 1. When does my annual spooky box come out? Well, usually it would have come out by now, but because of delays, it will, basically the way we're working now is it's going to come out the second the last item arrives, which will be whenever, we don't know. Everything is kind of a mess. On the stitch, okay, Susan says on the stitch piece down on the right corner, it says 14T. So let me look and see. So I see it. So it's 14 count, and then T is just a design. It's just a symbol. So we put that there. So 14 count represents the Ada, and then the T is just a symbol like you would see on a chart. If you don't like that, you could put something else there. So for example, if you look here on Bats and Boos, it has a T. So we just use that to go there. You could put, you could put whatever you want there. What 14 count Ada would I recommend for Farmhouse Christmas? Okay, so for Farmhouse Christmas, I am using 16 count Beautiful Beige. So I would use Beautiful Beige. You'll just have to make sure that that it's big enough for that piece. For Kringles, I don't have a gray in mind. I'd have to get back to you on that next week. Okay, I've already answered that. Andy's mama said, what do you determine where to start on your fabric? Every one is different. So when we do those grids that I'm showing you, when we pop up those images, if we say to start there, we will. But when you watch the video August 31st of that little small, I started in the center. So it just depends. It kind of depends, like whatever I feel like at the time. And on that one, I felt like if I did all of the text first, if I had a mistake on the outside, I would catch it faster. So it kind of depends on what I think will be the most efficient, or do I feel like doing text at first, or just kind of whatever. What size frame is Serendipity framed in? On Serendipity, we used Priscilla Blaine finished that. And if you go to priscillas2000.blogspot.com, she tells exactly how she framed it. So it's not like like an exact frame as it is finished more as like a piece. So Piggy wants to say thank you to Valeria Bauer for her super chat. She says, I'm amazing. Thank you. I wish my kids thought I was amazing. Goose also gave us a super chat, and she said, thank you for all the fun patterns and tips. Love, Miss Gracie. Thank you. Gracie's her cat. Oh my gosh, and Christina Ellis gave us a huge super chat, and she said, thank you for all you do. I love Fat Quarter Shop. Well, thank you. I still am like kind of shocked that you guys all watch. I think it's funny that and you know, I did get okay, so I'll tell you a funny story. So my daughter is starting high school at this certain school district, and one of my friends from college, one of my very best friends from college, was a choir teacher there. I didn't know he left, so I sent him a message, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna get to see you in the halls. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, my daughter's finally a freshman. And he was like, is she in choir? I was like, no. And he's like, well, I left to go to such and such school. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he goes, but I've been watching your quilting channel. And he's like, you're like a superstar. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe you're watching me. And he said, I'm just waiting for you to say good to me. So in college, I used to say that all the time, like because he was like very fashionable. So he would say, like, he would get dressed and be like, what do you think? And I'd be like, oh, good to me. Like, I would always say that. And he was like, you should say that. So I'm saying that. I don't think he watches the cross stitch, but I just thought, I was like so embarrassed when he said he watched. I was like, oh my gosh. Because to me, it's just weird to like mix my two lives. But anyway, I do want to do a tease now. So if you are in Stitch Quarterly and you don't want to see this, just kind of like skip ahead or close your eyes. And the reason I wanted to show you is I love this bag. So this is one of my favorite Stitch Quarterly bags that we've done. And this Stitch Quarterly will be shipping in September. We have plenty of spots, so if you want to sign up now. And I'll show you the great thing about this bag. The funny thing about this is that it's my favorite bag, and it's green. And green is my least favorite color. But I still love the bag. And I've been using it for my putting some of my September sunflowers. I've been using this with my other sunflower bag, but it sits up. So it's great because if you are like just stitching and you want to put your bag on the floor next to you or something, you can just set it up. And what I think is funny is we did a tease in a previous live stream, and we did a tease on Instagram, but you guys haven't guessed what it is yet, right? So if you want to guess, you can keep guessing, but you haven't guessed right. And then we're gonna move into new Lori Holt stuff. So this has been such a fun item to work on, and something new for us at Fat Quarter Shop, just totally outside the box. We worked endlessly and tirelessly on this, and so I'm so excited to bring it to you guys. We are doing a planner for Lori Holt, so it will come packaged in this box, which matches the stitch card boxes that I'm going to show you next. When you open it, you will have this piece of foam. There will also be one on the bottom so that it doesn't get damaged. It will come shrink wrapped in this box, and that's the back. So I'm going to show you the planner. Now, I want to these are similar colorways. They're not exact, and the reason why is this is a paper product and this is a fabric. This is actually linen, and it is embossed with her logo, Be in My Bonnet, and then the back is plain. And we made the bindings, the spiral bound, super big, so that sometimes when you get a planner and you turn, it's just too tight of a, I wanted it to be a little bit loose. And so I'm going to flip through the planner pages to show you. And it's made in America, and I have seen everyone's comments that's complaining it's too expensive, and I am so sorry. But this is something that it cost us a lot to print. We're very small compared to other customers who order things like this. So if you buy from like Michael's, they're probably printing hundreds of thousands and they can get the price down. We are not. We're printing a small limited run, and it is expensive, and I'm sorry, all I can say is it's made in America. So these are, you can plan your year, and then here we added this so you could do special dates. So you could put like all your January birthdays, February birthdays. And then I'm going to show you 2 of the months. So we color coded each month. So this is January. So all of January will be yellow. So we made these boxes big enough so that you can write in them. And the pages are very thick. It is a thick paper, and it is the same exact paper used in the project planner that she did several years ago that is now sold out. And in the front of each month, we have notes, priorities, shopping, personal goals, and health goals. So, and you could make these anything you want if you wanted to change them. And then all of the yellows are January. So these green dates are December from the previous year. She did add 8 water droplets so you could get your water in. And each day has, we started with Monday and went Saturday and Sunday last, and then to-do lists. So, and it's plenty big. It'll still fit in your purse, but there's plenty of room to write. So this is January. I can't wait to use this. And this is just a prototype. There's only 3 of these that were made. We have one, Lori has one, and Sarah, who is the publisher that does all the stuff for us, she has one. And then February. So everything February will be navy. And again, your dates. And so the yellow is the last day from January. So here's February. I cannot wait to use this. I cannot wait, because it's going to be like my own personal planner. And then in the back, there's a notes section. And Lori had a great idea that I saw on her video Friday. You could do these by the month. So you could label it January, February. You could label it however you wanted, if you wanted to do it by month, or you could just put notes in here. So there's lots of ways you can customize this. And this is all meant to be very color coordinated to Lori's style. And everything has to have a barcode, which is why there's a barcode there. But I love this. I'm super proud of it. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Now, if it sells great, we'll have a 2023. If it doesn't sell great, we won't have a 2023. But I would expect that it's going to sell great. And next year, hers would, we've already picked the color actually for next year. This is a linen texture. It's nice and thick. But we put a lot of love into this. So I do apologize that it's expensive. We made it in America, and we can only do a limited run because that's what we can afford. And we just don't have the volume to get it as a lower price. It's not something where we're trying to gouge you. We're not even making a full margin on it. So it is what it is, I guess. But I just wanted to address it for everybody out there. I've heard you. I listen, but it is what it is. These are my stitch cards that are Lori HOLT'S, and this is something we worked on probably over a year. So it's so exciting that these came in. There's 3 colors, red, denim, and teal, and I did tease these last week to let you know they were going to be here, and they're selling really fast. So we will be making these. This is not going to be a one-time run. So if we run out, we will be making more, but it took forever to arrive. So in here, you can put all of your stitch cards, which are her cross-stitch cards. Everything here is color coordinated to the planner. I mean, it's not exact because Lori does change her colors from product to product, but they all go together. And then J, if you want to see J's the next one that's coming out next month, and I teased it last week. And then you'll just fill in. Like this is A again, but you can just start filling in. And then it comes, they all come with this divider that will expand as you go. So like if you want it to stay up front, you do that. If you want it to fall back and be less, then you do that. And we just put some of her beekeeper, her thread conditioner, library cards in here so that you can know that you can use it for several things. So this is the red, and this is one way we used it. The teal, put here. And then this one, we just put planner supplies. So these are her planner pins that we made to go with her project planner years ago. And washi tape, Post-it notes. So you could do that. And these, they come with this little paper, and you can put what you would like in it. And it comes with 2. So that is the teal, and that goes with the planner. And then the denim is here, and I haven't organized mine yet at home, but I am excited to. And then this one we put fat quarters in and just kind of use this as a divider. So you could use it for fabric, you could use it for office supplies, you can use it for whatever. You could use it in your office at work. It doesn't have to be just crafts, but I'm so excited to show you this. And this is the same print that's on her cross stitch fabric. The next item that I want to show you is our club feature, which is Fabric Flare. I'm going to leave these here. This is a great color, and it would have worked great with Bats and Boos. So if you are in the Fabric Flare Club, this is what you would have got. And you get a sheet, and on it, it says the color you're getting. So you're getting hazy gray. But what's great is we put on here 3 suggested patterns that we think would look good with a gray thread. Now this one, you can see it's got tan, and this has tan. But what we're showing you is what we think would look good with it. So you should definitely not throw these pages away, so that you can always kind of go back to them. So now I'm going to answer questions. Will cross stitch patterns fit in the stitch card box laying down? No, they will not. Is it possible to buy just the divider cards? No, sorry about that. What a beautiful planner. Thank you. And cheers for Made in the USA. Thank you. What fabric did you use for Be Thankful by Country Cottage Needleworks? 10 count burlap. You are a superstar, and thank you. Oh, that's so funny. Thank you. Yeah, I was like, when he sent me that message, I was like, oh my gosh, he watches my videos. It's so weird. I don't know. I just, like, I don't know. I don't like anybody who, like, knows me in my personal life to watch them. Only my kids. I like my kids to watch, but, like, even I don't want Kevin to watch ever. Any idea when 14 count pale gray gingham will be back in stock? Should be any day. I don't think there's a delay with that manufacturer. Do I sell Lori's crochet hooks? I did. So if they're in stock with Riley Blake, we have them. If not, then they're sold out for just the limited time. But yeah, we do sell them. So I'm going to now show you some other new stuff that has come in and our flash sale for today. So our flash sale is actually great. It is called Doodles, and it's the spring version. And if you look, if you're following Needlework Expo, you'll see that her next one has come out. I think it's autumn, but this is on flash sale today. And of course, Needlework Expo is coming up in 2 weekends. So comment what you're looking forward to buying at Fat Quarter Shop so that we can make sure we have enough ordered. And these are the 2 new Priscilla and Chelsea Stitching with the Housewives PDFs. This one was released Friday. Autumn Leaves, it's a Dapper Doodad, and then Fall Jar Tiered Tray Tidbit released today. And it's so cute. The top of his hat is so cute. This is a series that we started carrying in January by Cottage Garden Sampling. So it's going to be 12, I think. And we carried it due to customer requests, so we now have number 8. We also got Primrose Cottage Stitches Welcome Autumn. I think that's super cute. I think that would work great for Sunflower September, because you can just pretend that one's a sunflower. We did get 2 customer requests for Halloween alphabet A, B, and C, D. So we got these in, and we got them, customer requested them. Weeks Dye Works has a new color called Eucalyptus, and I noticed the new colors they've been releasing have more variegation. We also got a request to carry the Fairy Tale Pincushion series by Tiny Modernist. So it's not a new series, it's an older one, but we're now carrying it due to customer request. So we've got Pinocchio, The Little Mermaid, and of course on these you could frame them. They don't have to be pincushions. Like if I was going to make them, I would just frame them. Goldilocks, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel. My daughter used to love that Disney movie. It's not Rapunzel, it was called like something else. What is Tangled? Yes. My daughter used to love to watch that. Cinderella, she'd be terrified if she heard that now. And Hansel and Gretel. Yeah, I think I've watched Tangled a million times. Like literally 10 times. And yeah. We also got some requests to carry this series, which is now all out. It was a mystery, and it's also by Tiny Modernist. So part 1, it's not a mystery anymore. 2, because it's all out. 3, and she does have a new series that is starting, that is Christmas, and we will be stocking all of that. So these were customer requests. So if you were one of the customers that requested it, it's now arrived. And then last week, or 2 weeks ago, we got a request to carry the cotton petites. And I'm going to be totally honest and tell you I don't know very much about it, but I did some research, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I know. So some of the designers like to use the sulky, and they're called cotton petites, and they're basically spools. So instead of carrying each individual skein, what we decided to do to try is to buy some of their samplers. Now, if their samplers are great sellers, we will carry the individual spools. So we started with, there's 2 dream assortments, 1 and 2. So I'm assuming if you bought these 2, that you would probably have all of the ones that are just a solid thread. Now, they also have something called blendables, and you'll be able to tell the difference. The blendables are variegated, so it would be more similar to it's not hand dye, but it would be similar to getting the variegation that you would get with like a classic Colorworks. So the variegated are called blendables. Now, what these are is you pull off the strand, you use 1 strand. So you pull off, so when I was showing you my board that had all the leftover thread, as I'm stitching, you wouldn't have that with this, because you would pull 1 strand off, use 1 strand, and then when you're done, you've used it all. Now, my hesitation with using this is I like to use the loop method, so I wouldn't be able to use the loop method. So if I was going to use this, I would use it on like a 10 count or a wider weave, so that I would be able to use the loop method. So we started with these, but we didn't just buy these. We bought all the small ones. We have not loaded all of them. They have not all arrived yet, but we ordered all the assortments that are available through. So, because these are obviously a much cheaper price point. So I'm going to show you the front and the back. So on the front, it doesn't have the name. It's all on the back. So these are seasons. So this is autumn, winter, summer, and then this is a blendable bestsellers. So cotton blendables, petites, most popular colors. So these are really affordable. And we bought this for customers because we got requests. Now, I'm going to show you the next set, which is if I was going to use these, which, I mean, eventually I will. These are by color. So this would be a good way to purchase the 4 that are by color. And we will have some more assortments, and they'll ship to us when they're in stock. So this is neutrals, reds, greens, and black and gray. But I do see there's a blue in there. So we did this for customer request. So hopefully hopefully this is what you guys wanted. Now again, if it sells super great and becomes a hot seller, we can carry it by the individual spool, but I kind of figured with having the color assortments that they've already put together, people would probably prefer to buy it that way anyway, because the colors are already put together for you and you don't have to think. So that's kind of what I was thinking. And Susan is asking if sulky thread can be used in place of DMC. Yes. Do you have the pattern? Yes, you can use this in, so instead of using 2 strands of DMC, you would use 1 strand of silky. And it was created for the cross stitch and the embroidery industry. So it was specifically created. So one thing you could use this for is our upcoming sew along called Granita. That's an It's So Emma pattern, and this uses 4 colors. So if you wanted to do one of these colors, you could just buy one of the packs, and you would have two extra, let's see. Yeah, you would have 2 extra spools, but the colors have already been thought out, if that makes sense. And then yesterday, oh, and someone is asking if sulky is more shiny. So I'm going to try to open it and see. And I know that one of the designers that uses this a lot is Hands On Design, and she has a YouTube channel. So I would consider watching some of her YouTube channels, and I'm sure she's talked about it. And she definitely uses it a lot. So if you have questions, go to her YouTube channel and comment on one of her videos. So let's see, is it shinier? I don't know. I don't really think so. It kind of maybe a brighter. I don't think it's shinier, but the great thing I would think if you were using something like this is you don't have to keep your design board with all your little loopy loops, because you would just pull off exactly what you need. So if you're using a pattern and you just need like a little tiny section, so you wouldn't need this mess, which is a constant mess for me. You wouldn't need that because, and if you were just doing, like, say you just needed to do these 8 stitches right here, right there, you just pull off enough to do that. You don't have to pull the whole, you don't have to pull a big skein. And then when you're done, you can tuck it back in to the edge. Like, let me show you. Okay, so when you're done, you can tuck it in between. There's a little thing. You can tuck it back in. So just something different, something that we got requests for, so we'll have to try it out and see. And inside there is a little sheet that tells you all the colors and the numbers. And again, the blendables are the variegated. And the cotton petites are just the solid cottons. Someone is asking if it's rayon. It is 100% cotton, 12 weight. So it is the same. DMC is 100% cotton. Aurifloss is 100% cotton. So this would be the most similar to Aurifloss because it comes on the cone, except Aurifloss is 6 strands. This is 1 strand. Do the sulky threads come in holiday colors like Christmas? So I can't remember off the top of my head on that one, but we ordered every pack that they offer. So I'm assuming there is one. I ordered it about 2 weeks ago, so I can't remember. Can you remind me what length I cut DMC floss? So I take the full skein and I pull it out and I put it into 8 strands. So they're like almost about 36 inches a yard long. And the reason I do that is I do the loop method, and I did demo doing that on this month's Stitchy Talk, which was August 2nd or 3rd. Michelle said, are those actual printouts of the PDFs? Yes. Or did I get the actual pattern? No, we have a fancy printer here that prints all of these wonderful patterns that we sell, and so we just print it off so that we can show you on paper, which is what you could do. You could go to Kinko's. We just have cardstock paper that we printed on. Regina said she has something she would like to make into cross stitch pattern. How do I do that? So actually, I think there are services that are sold on Etsy where they will do that for you. And I think there's probably cross stitch software somewhere that can do that. I personally don't know how to do it. How many yards per spool? 50 yards per spool. 100% cotton, machine washable. Will the Cross Stitch University go back to the basics and show how you remove strands and how to keep the thread organized? Yes, we will. So guys, thanks for watching today. Thanks for joining me. Be sure to comment and let me know what patterns you're looking forward to us ordering so that we can make sure we order enough for everybody. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a great day.